Today, I'm going to be exposing my VFAT portfolio as well as my entire strategy for all the positions that I have on VFAT. Let's dive right in. So first things first, if you don't know what VFAT is, it's essentially a yield aggregator that shows you data on a ton of different positions across multiple exchanges as well as networks. Currently, they support PancakeSwap, Aerodrome, Equalizer, Ramses, Merchant Mo, Nile, and Aerodrome, our favorite. But not only do they show you the information somewhat like Metrics Finance or DeFi Llama would show you, they also allow you to deploy your capital directly through VFAT, and they will allow you to rebalance your positions, conduct automations, and all this other stuff directly through their platform, which is the main value add for a protocol like this. They currently have $25 million of TVL, growing by the day with over 2,200 unique users and over 4,500 opened positions. Now, with that being said, I'm currently invested into Ethereum to USDC, which is actually out of range because I didn't realize whenever I rebalanced manually that my automated rebalance would stop working basically, and I would have to go in and reset it. But this position's out of range, which I am going to rebalance it, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to rebalance it to today. But I'm also in Ethereum to spec, which has been doing relatively decent so far at a 242% APR. Now, if you enjoy content from YouTubers that are transparent with the positions that they invest into and show their exact strategy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe and notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of my content. With that being said, I want to dive right into Ethereum to USDC. So as you can see, the price is currently at 3,001. My range is currently at 3,047 to 3,367. Before I had -3 +4 range, and what that allowed me to do is weight more towards Ethereum and have about 60% of my capital in Ethereum. But since the market has now gone down and we're looking relatively bearish for the next couple of weeks, I have adjusted my position to be -5 +4. That way I can weight more of my capital to USDC. So that way, as the price goes down, my USDC, which keep in mind I have about 60% whenever I rebalance, is going to be used to dollar cost average into Ethereum on the way down. And whenever I go to range, it will just reset and it will continue to dollar cost average on the way down essentially. So as you can see, when I do rebalance to -5 +4, that's going to look something like this, with my min price being at roughly 28.41 and then my max price being at roughly 31.40. And I'm going to be getting roughly a 225% APR on this one. And to talk about performance of this Ethereum to USDC position, I have got roughly 175% APR throughout the lifespan of this position and throughout multiple rebalances. I have also been harvesting my rewards in USDC, so that way I can kind of have a buffer of just capital that sits on the side that's not really exposed to the market that I can eventually then go and deploy into other positions. But the other strategy that can be used is you could actually receive your rewards just strictly in Ethereum. And the reason why you might want to do that is so that way you can build up a bag of Ethereum that's not exposed to any liquidity pools or any divergence loss. So that way when the price does start to go back up, you're making a lot of money, not just from Ethereum going up in your position, but also the Ethereum that you're holding on the side basically. You're using this as a means to establish your Ethereum bag. But to talk about performance of this Ethereum to USDC one, I have about $197 of divergence loss so far. And I have about $190 of earnings that I have unclaimed as well as claimed in the past. So I'm losing out on about $7 compared to somebody that would just hold their initial Ethereum and initial USDC. Why exactly is that the case? Well, that's partially my fault because when I rebalanced, I did not know that it was automatically going to reset my automated rebalance. I thought it would automatically rebalance and then I would have been protected. So before I went completely out of range and didn't get rebalanced, I had roughly $140 of divergence loss compared to $190 of earnings, which was one of the other reasons why I did decide to adjust the position strategy so that way it can match how the market is moving. Overall, I wouldn't say that this performed good, but I wouldn't say it performed bad, and it was definitely a good test. And that's why I deployed $5,000 into this position as opposed to just ramping in with an initial $20,000, which was my plan all along, to eventually scale this position up to $20,000 because it is Ethereum to USDC. Before we get any further, I want to mention that I just created this bundle. The first 20 people that come in here are going to get exclusive access to me in a group training event that is only valid until August 10th. Now, this bundle includes an Aerodrome yield farming course, a VFAT yield farming course, as well as a Metrics Pro course that I just created, along with a free 30 days of Metrics Pro. That's $290 of value packed into one bundle for $47 as a one-time payment. I want to be completely transparent with why I priced it at only $47. I want to help you make money through DeFi, so that way when it comes time for you to actually scale your portfolio, I can work with you in a closer manner and help you truly accomplish new heights. And that could include retiring from your day job, complementing your current income so that way you can live off of DeFi passive income, or truly just accomplishing financial freedom so you can travel the world. The link to purchase is going to be right below this video. But to dive into my Ethereum to spec position, this one has a range of -6 +4 Once again, I do not have the automated rebalance configured on here. I am going to go ahead and set up this automated rebalance so that way I can make sure that I'm not going out of range and then instantly getting hit with a ton of divergence loss. But essentially, whenever I do rebalance, I will be harvesting all of my rewards into USDC once again, so I could build up my USDC bag that I can do whatever I wish to do so with, which will most likely be compounded into more blue chip positions. I won't be setting a buffer and I won't be setting a stop loss. It's important to mention that VFAT does charge fees. They charge a 1.8% harvest fee because it's automatically harvesting and swapping. They also charge a 0.03% rebalance fee on the overall position value. And I do believe that this fee used to be lower, so do keep in mind that these fees are subject to change. Just make sure that you pay attention to them. But I think this is a solid Ethereum to spec position, and the reason why is because it's weighting a little bit more towards Ethereum because spec has not been doing well recently, but also I want to keep the long-term exposure to spec because I truly believe in the asset, something that I've been holding for the past couple months, and I've actually had a Uniswap position on Ethereum to spec for a very long time. It's just since this position hasn't done nearly as well as the Uniswap position, when you look at the divergence loss to overall earnings ratio, that's why I haven't migrated the Uniswap position over. This one had about $193 of divergence loss and about $130 of earnings. Before, I believe it was -2 + 4. Now I have adjusted that to -6 + 4. So that way I can weight more towards Ethereum, but also have a broader range so rebalances aren't occurring as often. I do think that'll help out the overall performance of this position. And during the lifespan of this position, this was doing about a 275% APR. If you're watching my previous videos, you know that I also used to have a Ethereum to Brett position. And I actually took the $1,000 of capital that I had in Ethereum to Brett and merged it into Ethereum to spec because I do think that spec is a better utility asset, of course. And at the same time, it's doing a higher APR. And it did not make sense to take on the risk to Brett when it was doing a much lower APR than spec was. And I personally believe a little bit more in spec than I do Brett. Now I have another $35,000 of my DeFi portfolio allocated to Uniswap, and that's where I'm yield farming stuff like Ethereum to Link, Ethereum to spec, and a couple other minor positions. And the overall goal here is to kind of balance out my risk. And if you guys want to stay tuned for my entire portfolio, which I'm going to be dropping pretty soon, a video on it, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, notifications turned on. And I look forward to chat with you if you guys purchase our August bundle. Once again, that link will be down below in the description. I'll see you guys later, and peace out.